I want to tell you a story, something happened to me. I'll try to make it quick, and then the voting will. What's going on with Arthur C? No, here's the story. Okay, this is something that happened to me a couple weeks ago. And backing it up, I live in New York, as I mentioned, and I moved to New York in 2003, and from Cleveland. Thank you. Thank you. I'm from Cleveland, and I moved. In the time that I've been in New York, and maybe you guys in DC experience a lot. I imagine you do, but people in the time that I've been in New York, people are always like, "Oh, New York's like lost its edge. Like it used to be really edgy, and now it's not so edgy." Like as I understand it, there was a time in New York when you could just like crack open a beer and just like walk down the street and drink the beer and then just like whip your dick out and then just start pissing all over, just like hosing down the streets of New York City with piss wherever you wanted. And you might get like a little raped or whatever when you do it. But the point is, it's like a give and take. It was a trade-off. It's like take the good with the bad. And now in New York, you can't really do any of that stuff, but you can get like a really nice brunch, like a lot of places, or pretty much anywhere in town. You just go with your friends, get like a seriously good brunch. It's great. And the reason I bring this up is a couple weeks ago I was in New York and I was doing a show in Brooklyn, one of the areas that we have there in town. And I live in Manhattan, so I was coming. I was coming from there and I was running some. There's a lot of details to the story. I don't actually know whether they're matter for the story, so just tell me later. Be like, Dave, cut that out. But anyway, so I had to go out to Brooklyn. And they were like, Dave, it was like this fancy show. It was all these people, fancy people, and I like put a suit on, and I spent all this time on my hair and everything. And they were like, Dave, you got to be on time. You can't be late for this show. So I was like, all right. And I was near 20th and Broadway, so I was like, oh, I'll take the R train out to Brooklyn. It's like a reputable train, right? And so I'm about to go into the R train, and then I was like, oh my God, I'm so hungry. And there was a gyro cart like right there, so I was like, I'll get a gyro. And I'm like, oh, go to the gyro guy. I'm like, give me a gyro. And he's got all the sauces there. He's got like the yogurt sauce and the garlic sauce and the chili sauce, all the sauces. And I was just like, sauce the fuck out of that gyro. Like, don't hold back on me either. And he's like he starts saucing the fuck out of the gyro, like just jizzing all over my gyro with all the sauces. And I was like, oh, God. Down. And then I get the gyro from him, and I go down the subway, and the train comes right away. I get on the train, and I unwrap the gyro, I'm eating the gyro, and it's like, then the sauces start like dripping down my hands and my wrists, like onto the floor, because this guy seriously sauced the fuck out of the gyro. And so it's dripping all over, and it's rush hour, so the train's super crowded, and it occurs to me, like, it's making this mess, and like, probably like the whole cart smells like gyro now, and people are probably looking at me and like, being like, oh, that guy over there looks incredible. Don't get me wrong, but it's not very cool what he's doing with that gyro. So I think the best thing I can do for the people on the train, the people of New York City in general, is get off the train, finish the gyro, get back on the train, go to Brooklyn. So I get off the train, next stop, 23rd Street. Oh, it's like fucking lightning quick decision. And I get off the next stop, and I walk all the way to the end of the platform, because I'm like, I should eat the gyro in private. Like, I didn't want to bother anyone on the subway platform with my gyro. Like, I just do cool shit like this all the time. And I go to the end, and if you've been to New York, maybe you noticed this. I'm sure you guys have. They have the black metal storage bins at the end of the subway platforms. Have anyone seen? Not like a Norwegian black metal storage bin, which would be so fucking cool. But it's just a regular black metal storage bin. So I go to that, and I'm eating the gyro, and I finish the gyro, and I have the wrapper, and it's all like gross, and I don't want to put it in my pocket. I'm like, I gotta throw it out, and there's no trash can anywhere. I'm looking all over, no trash can. I'm like, I can't throw it on the ground, I can't throw it on the track. So I think the best thing that I can do is put it on the black metal storage bin. That way, like, the person who has to clean up, all they have to do is like sort of like throw it in their satchel. Or like, I don't know, it might even be kind of fun for them. I don't even know. And so I set it there, and as soon as I set it down, I all of a sudden hear this like rustling and rumbling, like and it turns out there was this homeless guy asleep on the other, like camped out on the other side of the black metal storage bin. And I'm like, woke him up like sleeping giant or something. He's like, and he stands up and he's like, back up, and like I back up like a little bit because I'm like, what's this guy gonna do? So, and then he's like, I mean it, back up and get this trash out of here. And he smacks the gyro wrapper like at me. And I move a couple more inches, and then he's just like, back up, like screaming. And this guy was like seriously homeless. Like it wasn't like a phase he was going through. Where it's like, oh, Don's like had a rough couple weeks, but I'm sure it was a couple weeks back in the 4D or whatever. Like he was like seriously like lifer, caveman, crazy homeless guy. So like it occurs to me, it's like this might not even be about me, you know? Like it might just be like I might just happen to be standing where some guy, imaginary guy, is really pissed at us standing. So I'm just like not really moving. And then he finally goes like, back up or I'll throw this bottle of piss on you. And then like a superhero, like a ninja, like pulling out of his quiver, he has this like bottle of Gatorade from out of nowhere. And it was like not like a Gatorade bottle where you'd be like, oh, hang on, I'm just gonna grab a Gatorade real quick. It's like the giant size of Gatorade where you're like, I only fucking drink Gatorade. Like, oh, to the biggest Gatorade size that they make, you know what I mean? And instead of being, full of delicious and refreshing Gatorade, it's full of urine, of pee. And like, I don't know how many of you have ever pissed in a bottle. You must have pissed in. You strike. You've pissed in a bottle. Well, so you know what I'm talking about. If you've never pissed in a bottle, you don't know this. But like, if you've never pissed in a bottle, you think like, oh, when you have to go really badly, you're like, oh my God, I just like pissed like 6 or 8 gallons of piss. But we don't. You know this. When you pee a lot, it's actually not that much. You're like, oh, that's actually not that much piss, right? Right? When you pee in a bottle, you're like, oh, it's not too bad. And the reason I bring it up is because to fill a whole giant Gatorade bottle would take maybe a week's worth of piss. Now, if you factor in that the homeless are historically dehydrated people, this is like 2 or 3 weeks of piss in this bottle, and he's like, back up, bro, throw this bottle of piss on you. And he says it, the way you hear it, you're like, oh, back up, that's your first option, think about that. Or I'll throw a spot of piss on you, so just let me know where you stand. But he says it all at once with no break at all, and before he even finishes his sentence, he takes the whole bottle and rips the lid off, just and launches it and homeless, it's like a fire hose, and it's buttery hobo pee just coming out. I know, imagine how I felt. It's oh. And homeless or not, not a drop was wasted. It was just his aim was impeccable. It was just and then I'm seeing this arching rope of buttery hobo peak. And by this time I'm slowing it all down. It's in slow motion. And it's oh. And the first blow hits my hair. And you can imagine all the effort, ruin. And it's ruin my hair. And it's going down my suit. My suit's all soaked in the piss, and it goes down to my ass. And it's on my ass, and it's soaking through my suit, soaks my underwear. He had effectively wet my pants with his piss. It was and at this point in the story, I'm getting a bit irritated, right? And I start thrashing around, and the piss is flying all over, like Jennifer Beal in the hit movie Flashdance. Covered in homo pee. And prior to this happening in my life, if someone had been Dave, what would you do if someone just totally hosed you down with their piss? I could be oh man, fucking kill that guy and hurt his feelings and I'd do all this. I'd be so mad, but that wasn't my reaction at all. After he covered me in his piss, I was just I'm getting the fuck out of here. Because if you think about it, if your opponent's first move in a confrontation is to just cover you from head to toe in his own piss, what the fuck is next? At the very least, got 3 or 4 more bottles of piss, shit cannon, whatever. So I was touche, you win this round, good for you. And then I was I'm getting out of here. And I go outside, and I go up on the street, and it's still sunny outside. The sun is just, I'm walking down Fifth Avenue, and the rivulets of hobo pee kind of coming down my cheeks and down my neck and on my chest and everything. And and all the hobo piece like coming down my hair, and it's like forming these like these beads, like bulbs, almost like Christmas ornaments of this piss at the end of my hair, like just like hanging around. And I look up and the sun's still out, and the sun is coming through, and it's sort of like refracting through the little balls of hobo pee, and it's forming this like beautiful prisms and rainbows and everything, right? And all of a sudden, like, I'm sorry, and all in that moment, like all the pain and anger just fell away, because that's when it hit me, like, this motherfucking town is back. I did it.